Today, we are doing something a little different because it's a part 2. Hello and welcome back to the Croak Crow podcast. I am Spencer Cardia.
I am the Frosty Palace from Greece.
Is that a place?
That's where that was the soda shop.
And you're being a place?
Yeah, I'm being the Frosty Palace. I'm being the snowman on the roof of the Frosty Palace.
Okay, now we're getting a little more specific.
Maybe he was Frosty.
I'd imagine so. And this here is Frank.
He's a hoop honey.
A what?
A hoop honey.
What's a hoop honey?
A hoop honey is someone who chases the basketball players.
Oh, like a
Kardashian?
No. Yeah, no, I meant the other sports have something like a hockey player girl who follows hockey players is a
more than a fan.
A puck bunny.
A puck bunny.
And
I'm thinking hoop honey came first because of the H's, and then hockey just was like, let's copy. They should have said hockey honey. That would have made it funny.
Hockey honey. I don't know. It's all weird. And you know what? I think what it also is rude.
It's shaming.
It's shaming. It's like, oh, that's all those women are.
Right.
Chasing someone else for doing something.
Right.
Because there's a ton of guys who chase types of girls.
And maybe you don't
Where's all the cheerleader chumps out there? You know, because there's a ton of those.
I sounded like Smedley. Is that
the
his
volleyball
name?
Villains?
You know that cat who used to
no
laugh like that? It's like old cartoon.
The soccer simps.
Yeah.
Like why is it always you point at a girl? Because those girls are doing things outside of following, sports guys around.
Funny. Number one, I don't know if they embrace it, but number two, also I bet some people are misnamed as hoop honeys. Maybe someone at that time is liking a basketball player, and they're like, "Oh, you're just a hoop honey." And it's like,
well, that's what I'm saying. And
my last girlfriend was a physicist.
Yeah, it's not cool.
All right.
No, I'm not going to stand for it.
All right. He's just a Sixers fan. He has on his Sixers regalia. I couldn't think of the word. I was going to say paraphernalia, but that's not right.
Regalia.
He has on his sisters. He has on his sister's regalia. It
looks like it.
He has on his Sixers. The Philadelphia 76ers. 1776ers is a reference to the bicentennial. Maybe it is at 1970. No,
it's 1776.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Declaration of Independence.
Hamilton, I saw it.
Yeah.
1776.
Yeah, no, I'm going to a Sixers game tonight.
Why do we have the same drink, but yours is so pale?
Please don't look at the drinks while we're podcasting.
I'm have chronic ADD.
I am going to a Sixers game tonight.
I know you are. You're so lucky.
I am.
Is it an away game or a home game?
It is, in fact, a home game. They're playing the Orlando Magic. Should be a good game.
Magical.
It should be magical. Now they're requiring vaccine mandates. Mm-hmm. So I just got my card because I lost it.
So you didn't just get vaccinated. You just got the documentation.
I just got the documentation. I have been without it for a while. Been using a photo on my phone, but it's always a little weird. Yeah. I always think like I'm like tricking them or something.
Oh yeah, you're very like that.
Yeah, I'm very like that.
Why don't you get it
laminated? Yeah, we have a laminator somewhere, but
I didn't even think of that. I meant like at Staples.
Now you're getting out of hand.
Spencer, today we always say silly stuff, that it's donut day or it's pink toenail polish day, but today the Afghanistani Prime Minister, who is a Taliban leader, he was speaking to an international group of people, and it came across the wire that he said, "You better recognize us. We're dying."
What? I was following you to a point.
World politics makes me laugh.
He said, "We're dying." He wants international aid?
Yes.
After taking the country back by force?
Yes.
Okay.
The people of Afghanistan are innocent.
They are
bystanders. So
they were just born there.
A lot of the UN is saying we do have to help them. But just as I'm Frosty Palace, the United States has led the Western countries of freezing out Afghanistan's economic stability.
Yeah.
So they're saying we are here and we're not leaving and everyone's dying. So you better help us.
That's tough, you know. This is a Christian podcast, so.
Are there Christians in Afghanistan?
I'm sure.
There are a very small amount. There are 10 to 12,000 Christians in Afghanistan, almost all converts from Islam. Mm-hmm. That is in counterbalance to 29 million Muslims.
So, as a Christian podcaster, world politics is where it gets confusing. But maybe we should look into it more because, you know, it's confusing in the sense of where is that magic line without religion or our viewpoints. It's easy to understand what to do and what not to do. Oh, you're bad, you're good.
You're hungry, I'm going to feed you.
No, that's from a Christian standpoint.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like where it's like, we want to help, right? So it's like,
I told you the restaurant's closed. It's closed. I'm not opening it, even if you're starving.
Yeah. It's very
rules.
Matter of fact. Rules, and this is what needs to be done. Looking at the numbers and the outcomes. So from a Christian standpoint, you immediately feel empathetic to those people who are living in Afghanistan and who are struggling. It's not the most developed country, especially with its new leadership. Now, do you want to enable a organization that has been known to go very much against Christian values,
right,
and not in their own policies, not even based off of their own religion,
right?
It's this very specific group,
probably go against Islamic policies.
That's
even.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the question is, what gets precedent?
Yeah. It's hard because I consider it sort of like how we deal with hijackers, hostage situations. We always say, I don't know, I've never thought about it too deeply, but you say if you give them what they want, you're encouraging future hijackers, right?
Well, yeah, and
so they hijack the country.
Yeah, that's why the policies of like we don't negotiate with terrorists,
right?
Which means just that. It's like we've set a rule in place where even if you have like hostages and we want to save them, it's if the rules across the board, you must tie your own hands up, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like so that there isn't exceptions, and then it's like don't even try to take someone for ransom because we legally are bound to not be able to give you anything that you want. So,
which does work for us because we are a country with very few kidnappings, as opposed to a country even like Trinidad in the Caribbean, which kidnappings are rewarded because if you
kidnap someone with power,
you'll get paid.
People will pay
to return them, and then it becomes an option. So can you kidnap a country and then say, give us money? Not even give us money. It would be giving them money. That's the other thing. What if you give them money to be like, yeah, please feed the people, and they're like, yeah, sure, and then they just keep the money?
Yeah,
they're not trustworthy.
Yeah, and it's the
Taliban in particular, not Afghanistanis.
No, yeah, and it's one of those things that I guess through our empathy, we would be giving them, give an inch and take a mile. And it's like by worrying about or like wanting to help the people, we've now established that we do see them as a legitimate government.
Right. Regardless of how you got in power.
Yeah. So I say we don't.
Happy birthday, Paul Cezanne.
Happy birthday. Who's that?
Says the man who went to college for art history.
Oh, Cezanne. No, I know who that is.
Yeah. Paul Cezanne.
I've heard the name, I should say.
He was a French partner.
I bet.
He was a French painter.
I'm going to put up a painting that I know of him. And if you don't see anything here, then that means that I should fail my college. They should retroactively take away my degree.
Okay. Well, I wanted to know what he painted quickly. I've seen Cezanne many times, and I probably even saw him without knowing it because those famous painters, their artwork is in public domain, so it's used by many people, And I saw Christ in Limbo, which is actually, you can see it now at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It's one of the,
now? When was it in there? Like, when was it first put in there?
I don't know, but I just know that they always change. Not all the paintings, but sometimes you have paintings that will be there.
Yeah, like you learn it from the men.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's been there for 50 years or 50 days. But if you go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, go look for Christ in Limbo. So I said, oh, Christ in Limbo. Okay, I can talk about that. And it's a picture of Christ. Is Cezanne's... well, it's Christ going down to hell to pull up the people from purgatory. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, okay.
That sounds familiar. I feel like I've seen this.
That's it, and that's fine. And it's referring to 1 Peter 4:6. For this is the reason the gospel was preached even to those who are now dead. And so just from that little piece, as you know, you took art history, that they would take little pieces from the Bible and then illustrate it in their own way. But it turns out that so many artists have painted Christ in Limbo. Cezanne was copying from Sebastiano. Sebastiano was taught by Michelangelo. And even some Netherlands guy who he had Christ rescuing Adam and Eve from purgatory. But Limbo, purgatory, same difference. Not Limbo, the limbo stick of your home country.
I'm terrible at Limbo. Me too. I've never been good at it, even as a kid.
Well, you have some
mobility issues. You can say it. No, you can say it.
Mobility, flexibility.
Yeah, I have
a range of stretch.
Yeah, I just like it. Yeah, and I worked on it forwards. I can touch my toes now.
Yeah,
but to bend backwards.
Ooh, do you ever see those kind of it looks like a little bridge? It's kind of like a pillow or something.
Yeah,
and you lay back.
Yeah,
it opens up your rib cage.
Whatever it does. Yeah, but bending backwards seems like, oh, I'm working on my mobility to touch my shoulder, and then it's well, now go the other way.
Yeah.
I probably should stretch. I think it's good to have mobility in your spine and stuff.
Oh gosh, how about the not the gymnasts, but the acrobats, the people who I follow a woman. She's an older woman, Bendy Betty or Spetsy. Also, there's Nora Noodle. You know, the kind that just
the contortionists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They become like a ball, and
it's fascinating, these contortionists, to me, because it makes you question how limited your own body is. I mean, I learned that from just stretching, where I've felt the most in shape when I'm the most flexible, because it's you have more control over your body, and then when you do get flexible, you feel back when you weren't, how locked inside your own body you were, because I can't even move this way. I can't turn my head fully. And it's you feel in prison. But I imagine those contortionists, they're just, their body, they do what they want with it.
Yeah.
Their body, their choice. And they choose to be Bendy Betty.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember her name, but I'll send you her Instagram. That's it, really. I think it's Popcorn Day, but I think we did Popcorn Day last year. I don't know. There's always the days. Go on nationalday.com or something like that.
Stop watching us for the holidays. What are you just going to sit here and tell you the holidays every day?
Today we were highbrow. We did world politics and we did Paul Cézanne.
No big deal.
Michelangelo. We're kind of that name.
We're elevating our intellectual status.
Yeah, with this outfit on.
But guys, more importantly, it is Wednesday. Our first podcast of the week. A very special day in our hearts because it is One Word Wednesday. One Word Wednesday is a day when we pick a word and we find some metaphorical significance, some spiritual significance, and we use that small little word, and out of it, we bring great ideas.
Bloom the seed.
And today, we are doing something a little different because it's a part 2. First ever part 2 of anything, except for the Walkthrough Thursday.
Oh. You're right. 23rd Psalm.
23rd Psalm, where we had a 6-part series of that. You can go check that out. But, yeah, so it's a part 2. We talked a lot about the word, which was confidence. Confidence is a word. So much to be said on it.
Yeah.
We ran out of time. Not only did we run out of time, we were going over time. And we said, we need to keep talking about this because it's a big word. And sometimes we get a good word. And we have a short podcast. And then we leave a lot of things on the table, if you will. Literally on the table. So today we're going to dive into it more.
Okay.
So what we talked about already mostly consisted of what does it take to be confident in the real world.
Right.
When you're walking on stage and you want to portray yourself as confident. And we gave 10 things.
Yes.
that will help you do that. Now, one of the things that we said needs a podcast of its own is the fact that this is a spiritual Christian podcast, and what more to give someone confidence, to give you confidence than your own faith.
Right. And you very briefly touched on the confidence that you get from God or you have in God.
Yes.
That's what you want it to expound on.
Yes, that is what I want to expound on. Should I just go?
Yeah. Have some confidence, will you?
So confidence with God, confidence in God. When we talked about all the other things, dress nice, look nice, feel nice, control the room. These are all great things, but at the end of the day, what can still be so intimidating is because confidence, I think, it really revolves around other people, right? Like,
yeah,
everyone's confident when they're by themselves.
Yeah,
like no one's shy in a room by themselves.
Yeah, right.
It has to do with other people, and so when you are with a bunch of other people, it can be intimidating because they are your equals in a way, if that makes sense, and they're your peers, and there's a lot of them, all eyes on you, and you are just a person, and that's not easy to say. Because in a way, a lot of confident people, it looks like they're bigger than a person.
Right.
They're stronger than a person.
It's easier for them.
It's easier for them.
Star.
It's like
yeah.
They don't feel as small, and so sometimes when you're feeling small, confidence in God is saying God's got my back.
Right.
God, the biggest thing of all, and you ask for Him to get your back, and just like every Bible story, it's like when God's on your side. You have
right.
That gives you the confidence. You
Right.
have confidence that He's got your back. You have confidence that no matter what happens, He'll be with you.
Right.
And that's confidence that can propel you past any kind of your own confidence issues. It's, I'm nervous, but I have faith that God will,
right.
have my back.
Right.
I'm nervous, but I have faith that no matter what happens, God will see me through my problems.
Right.
But yeah.
I lost the papers from last week. But there was something about trust and confidence. And I think it was, you can trust in something like you trust in God. But confidence is not better than trust, but it is completely trust. You still have, I trust until the time comes. Confidence is like, I feel completely, I can't think of a different word than confident. I feel safe in this.
A very common Bible story, is David and Goliath. And it's not like I have confidence that God will have me avoid battles. Or no, I have faith that it's when it was time to go up against Goliath.
Right.
What made David, the small little person, ready to go against him is
right.
I have confidence in the Lord, and I trust that, and so he'll go up against Goliath.
Right.
Is any story resemble confidence more than a little shepherd's boy going up against this great warrior? And that wasn't, we can go through the list of 10. That wasn't he was dressed nice.
Right.
That wasn't he rehearsed. I doubt he rehearsed.
Right.
Fighting Goliath.
Right.
It wasn't, any of these things. Practice makes perfect.
Right.
It was all confidence in the Lord that, he will have the strength. And then that gave him confidence in himself.
Right.
He walked up to King Saul and said, "Don't worry, I got this." And with that, I want to say something else about building confidence.
Mm-hmm.
The same way we talked about, I was talking about public speaking, and I'm saying the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. It's the same thing with confidence in the Lord. It's not, it is something that needs to be worked on just as much as rehearsing public speaking. And what I mean by that is when a huge thing comes along and then you decide to put all your faith and confidence in the Lord that He'll make it okay, that'll be too hard to do, right? Like, God has you go through things every day that you're able to put your confidence in him.
Right.
As small as it is, like financial funds or this, that, or small little things that you should just work on putting your confidence in the Lord. And I'm going to go back to the David story where before David fought Goliath, he one day runs into a lion on his path or a bear, and he has confidence in the Lord, and then he's able to defeat this bear. And then a little while later, a lion comes and he puts confidence in the Lord and he defeats that.
Okay.
So by the time Goliath is there and everyone else is shivering in their boots.
Okay.
David has such confidence because God has never let him down, and God was always with him. And so he was able to just go and not have a wavering of faith, because he said, God has always been with me. As long as I put my faith in him and put my confidence in him, I will be able to hurdle any obstacle. And why I like that story is because going through life, I feel like we always think that getting knocked down is a bad thing.
Right.
And why I really like that story because retrospectively, when we read the Bible, we read the whole story.
Yeah. From
the beginning of time to, Jesus. And so it's easy for us to say, obviously Job should have kept his faith. Obviously this should happen. But I like taking pinpoints in time and not knowing what would happen next.
Okay,
if you put yourself there.
Right.
If I was David in that moment and a lion, if I'm walking to CVS and a lion comes on my road, I would be like, this is baloney. And then I'd be like, God, really? Like, why do I deserve this?
Right.
Like, what did I do to deserve this? And I have to fight a lion. And then a month later, a bear comes my road. In the road when I'm going to Walmart. And I'm like, a bear? Like, nobody else goes through this. Nobody else has to deal with this. And I'd run away from the bear, do whatever, and I'd be like, God, you have not been there for me. Like, you have not been there for me. Nobody should have to go through this and this and this. And then only after
it was preparing him.
Did you go up against Goliath and realize what I learned from fighting this bear, what I learned from fighting this lion.
It's the Karate Kid.
Yeah. Wax on, wax off.
Why do I have to paint the fence?
Yeah.
Why do I have to wax the car?
Exactly. and so I think that's part of the being confident part is like, it might feel like confidence in the Lord. It's been me. I've been the one who defeated the bear. But it's like this whole time you're being prepared to have confidence in the Lord, to put confidence in the Lord, to make you a confident person no matter what you do. And the more you do it, the more you'll see there was a lot of bad things. Like, confidence doesn't always come with a smile on your face. Right. It puts you in very uncomfortable situations.
Right. But we did talk about last time the little building blocks that if you do these things, they build your confidence. So like they said, lean into your strengths, because every time you accomplish something, it's building your confidence.
Yeah.
And also spiritually. Yeah.
So I said that. I said, like, if you work out or you read more books, so you're becoming mentally stronger and emotionally stronger, when something that comes along that has nothing to do with physical strength, you'll still be more confident.
Right.
And I think part of that is we said that comes down to being comfortable in your own skin and being confident with yourself. And that goes back to, I said everyone's confident in a room. Not really. The more I think about it, like, sometimes you're in a room and you're not even confident with yourself. Like,
no. Well, yeah, you're funny. Shall I interrupt you?
You shall.
I'm thinking, and you said David, so I looked. I'm so mad I don't have the other papers, but just cut that out. I had a little side shoot, which was a confidant, and that's like Hermione was Harry Potter's confidant. It's like this person that you can confide in, and you really put your confidence in, that they'll keep your secrets and so forth. And David had Hushai, who was a friend of David, and I think he was like a double agent, not double against David, but like they didn't know he was secretly sending information back to David. Yeah. So you can have a confidant that you can trust completely.
Yeah.
But they can betray you. They can. You can, what you just said, you can have confidence in yourself, but how many times have we betrayed ourselves?
Yeah.
And you'll say, why did I do that?
Yeah.
And that really lets you fully put the most important confidence in God, because he will never betray you.
No, he's bigger than that. And I like what you said there of we betray ourselves. Like so many times, especially when trying to be confident, out of your own mouth, you'll say, I can't do it. And that will immediately have you not be confident because you have lost confidence in yourself.
Walking on the water.
How can you be confident if you don't trust yourself?
Right.
And so and I think that's like, in AA, they always use this word like surrender yourself to God.
Yeah.
And I always try to like find the meaning of that because I couldn't really understand it. But I think that's what it is. It's when you accept the fact I am weak, I am fallible.
Right.
But God is not.
Right.
And he has my back. And he is going to get me through this. I might not have faith in myself right now in this moment. I have faith in God.
Right.
And he is bigger than this entire situation.
That's why we had to do the part 2, because we talked all that time about confidence
in yourself.
In yourself, and it was really, you could not gloss over that the amount of confidence that comes from knowing that God is your shepherd, and also that you can go forward with.
Yeah, exactly. That's why in the very end of yesterday's podcast, I said we forgot the most important thing. And that is the most important thing, because that is the difference between being able to do something that you don't think you can.
Right.
If you don't think you can do something, and then who's going to be the different? Like, you just won't do it. Like,
right.
I don't think I can do it. Why am I going to try?
Right.
When you don't really think you can do something, but then you stop yourself and think, wait, well, God will be there for me. I trust in him that he'll make this okay.
Right.
It externalizes it and says like, okay, walking up on stage, I don't trust myself being by myself, but wait, I'm not by myself. I got God by my side.
That's right. Our Lady of Confidence, there's churches around America called that. We have actually a school in Willow Grove, Our Lady of Confidence, and it's for special needs. It's a Catholic school, but it's just for special needs students. But the term, I was wondering, where is this Our Lady of Confidence coming from? We started the podcast talking about art, and it is art. And art. And it's a painting of the Blessed Mother and Jesus is pointing at her. It's kind of funny. Pointing at her, and they pray Mater mea fiducia mea, which is my mother, my confidence.
In Latin?
Italian or Latin? Roman? I don't know.
Latin.
Yeah, it's an oil painting, and it is in one of the oldest and highest ranking churches in the whole entire world.
Where's that?
In Rome. There's 7 pilgrim churches in Rome, and it's one of them. And you know what's also there? The holy stairs. They have the stairs that Jesus walked up where Pontius Pilate was.
Oh.
They have the stairs. They're wooden stairs, but they're encased in marble. I couldn't believe it. And it's very venerated, this painting. Why don't you say it? Pope John Paul II, who's not your favorite pope, but there is, you like...
Pope Francis.
Yeah, Pope Francis.
But you're saying not your favorite pope makes it sound like...
He's
not my favorite.
Okay, well, he was everyone's.
Yeah,
I grew up with people. He was on... Everybody had the painting on the photo on their wall. Yeah. There's a quote from Pope John Paul II about confidence.
I wish all of you the grace to find her guidance in your lives.
Oh, that's the Blessed Mother.
From the image of Our Lady of Confidence to the goals that Providence foresees for you, and even asks of you to be accomplished through you. Pope John Paul II. PJP 2.
I think he was a fan of the painting. That's why it was there.
But, yeah, that's confidence part 2.
Part 2, even though I lost my part 2 papers.
If you didn't check out part 1, check out part 1. But part 1, it's very literal, and this is more important than that.
Playlist One Word Wednesday.
Because when it comes to confidence, there is no hurdle that will not be able to be hurdled as long as you have the confidence that God will see you through it, good or bad. Just to finish it up, not everything goes the right way, and then that's when you have confidence that God will, everything will still be okay.
Right.
But that's our show. Peace. See you tomorrow. Walk through Thursday.
Sixers win.